soon as possible. So be prepared because it's going to happen. Okay, we're gonna go transition to YouTube. So I think I'm excited for the YouTube transition for the simple fact that we're not gonna have to end the calls ever as possible. So be prepared because it's going to. So I'm excited. So let's get this call started. So today's call, all right, is gonna be today's topic is developing a reproducing culture. Okay, that is today's topic. Developing a reproducing culture. All right, very, very important. Okay, and I'm gonna break this down. I need you guys to take the best notes you guys ever taken today. Today, you wanna take notes. Out of the whole entire book, okay. All right, no, mornings with Neno won't happen while we're in convention next week. Nope. Developing a reproducing culture. When I read the book, this was the chapter that had the biggest impact on me. This was it right here. Like I said, I would go back and I would read this chapter over and over and over again because this was my favorite chapter of them all, right? And this is what he says, right? Today's topic is developing a reproducing culture, okay? Developing a reproducing culture. All right, so let's talk about it. He says, if you want to move up the growth levels, and you don't have to take notes on this, I just want you guys to listen real quick. He says, if you want to move up those growth levels and encourage other leaders within your organization to do the same, he says this, you need to create a culture that promotes leadership production. Sorry, you need to create a culture that promotes leadership reproduction. When you do that, developing leaders can become the norm. In contrast, in an organizational culture where reproduction is not a priority, people guard their territory rather than trying to enlarge it by developing more leaders. This scarcity mindset restricts growth and attracts other limited thinkers. The result is an organization that experiences fewer victories and faces reduced possibilities in the future. To develop a reproducing culture, you need to have these 5 expectations in place that ensure that they are met by the people in your organization. And that's what I'm going to be going over. So if you want to know the exact topic is the 5 expectations that you need to have in place to develop a reproducing culture, right? And this is very important, but I want you guys to just, let me reread what he said right here that was very powerful. He says, you need to create a culture that promotes leadership reproduction, okay? If there's anything that you want to promote within your organization, any kind of leadership, it has to be a leadership, all right, a culture that promotes leadership reproduction, all right? And what does he mean by that? That the top priority, one of the top priorities within your organization is that when somebody comes into your business, one of your main priorities is to reproduce these individuals as leaders, that everybody knows the mission. Because at the end of the day, okay, like we talked about it the other day, a dream with a bad team is a nightmare. A dream with a good team, it's inevitable, right? So you got to understand that this is key information. Okay, you got to have good team and a good leader. Now, he says to develop a reproducing culture, you need to have these 5 expectations in place. Okay. And you got to make sure that they are met by everyone within the organization. All right. First expectation, number 1, the leader of the team is the primary culture carrier. The leader of the team is the primary culture carrier. Okay. So understand this for my leaders. Type a 1 in the chat box if you are a leader. If you're a leader, type a 1 in the chat box. This is what he says. Listen to me. The culture of the team or organization you lead starts with you, the leader. You must model it, nurture it, monitor it, and incentivize it. In the midst of all other responsibilities, you must make the creation of a reproducing culture your highest priority, with you setting the model for growing and developing other leaders. Mark Miller carries that responsibility at Chick-fil-A. as the Giants company's vice president of high performance leadership. He said, "We believe leadership can become our primary competitive advantage. We want to become known as an organization that can proudly and confidently say, 'Leaders made here.'" I love that statement. Every organization wants to create a leadership culture and you should adopt it. Okay, yes, I'll take it to the whiteboard. No worries. But I just want you guys to listen right now because it's so important. Okay, because this is key information that he's sharing right now. Okay, and the reason why I love this so much is because he says it. He says, "In midst of all other responsibilities that you have, you must make the creation of reproducing culture your highest priority as a leader of your organization." As the leader of your organization, you have to make, okay, a culture of reproducing leaders your highest priority. Your highest, because it's the only way that it's going to work. People should want to join your organization because they know that they will not be the same person that they were in the beginning when they're there for a few months. Okay, there's a pretty high chance, okay, anybody that joins my organization, for example, if they are willing to put the work in, if they show up, they ask questions, they're coachable, there's no way that anybody that joins my organization does not become a better leader. If they show up, the information that's provided is second to none. Okay, and having access to me, like guys, yesterday we were on calls for 4 hours after an opportunity call, just closing deals from 8 to 12, nonstop, 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 nonstop. We work over here. We work. So developing a reproducing culture is important. He says the leader of the team is the primary culture carrier. Okay, now this is powerful right here. What I'm going to share with you guys right now is very, very powerful. So let me break this down. What I'm going to go over right now are the 6, and this goes hand in hand with that first one right here. He talks about the 6 C's of a reproducing culture. The 6 C's of a reproducing culture. Okay, number 1 is character. He says you have to be it. All right. And the way he explained it, he says everything starts with strong character. That's not something you can just talk about. It's something that has to be the core of who you are. You have to live it every day. You must maintain integrity, treat others with respect, desire the best for people, and go out your way to help people. Okay. So the first C to creating a reproducing culture is your character. Who are you? Who is you? Are you someone that has integrity? Do you live by it every single day? Do you treat others with respect? Do you desire the best in other people? And do you go out of your way to help others? It all starts with you. The reproducing culture is going to start with who you are, right? So you got to see it for, for what it is right now. Your character. Okay, what is your character? Do you have integrity? Are you true to your word? Okay, are you true to what you say you're going to do? Because a lot of people don't have integrity. Very, very few people have integrity. Can somebody look up the definition of integrity for me and type it in the chat box really quick so we could just take a look at it on a deeper level? Because I feel like a lot of people don't even, I remember I would hear people talk about the word integrity and I wouldn't even know what it really meant. I would just kind of have an idea of what it is, right? But look at it right here. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, basically. It's basically the quality of being honest. Someone who's true to their word. Yo, I'm going to do this and you do it. Hey, I'm going to finish this book and you finish the book. Hey, I'm going to run a private presentation for you and I'm going to do that private presentation for you. Hey, we're going to do this. Word is bond. It goes with the, what's the first agreement in the 4 agreements? Being impeccable with your word. Okay, being a person of integrity is so important. Okay, practicing what you preach. Are you that kind of person? Are you telling people to do things that you're not doing? Hey, you got to go out there and recruit, but you're not recruiting. Hey, you got to read, but you're not reading. Hey, you got to work on yourself, but you're not working on yourself. Hey, you got to get rid of your bad habits. All of that stuff. Bro, people could read right through all of that if you're being fake about it. Everything I've ever told you guys to do, I've gone out and done it. At the beginning of the week on Monday, I told my team, I'm like, yo, guys, this week right here is the last week of October. We got to go out there and get new people to join the family. But I didn't just tell them to go join. I didn't just tell them to go and find people to join the family. I went out there and I found 4 people already that joined the team as well. And I posted it in the chat and I let them know, hey, look, guys, I will never do something that I'm not doing myself. I will never tell you guys to do something that I'm not doing myself. I'm going to go out there and get new people as well so that you guys can see that I'm leading by example. Because what am I? I have to make sure my character is always in place. Okay. So, and Sam also, you know, he added a little bit more to it. He says, a person with integrity behaves ethically and does the right thing even behind closed doors. Okay, so it has to be what you do when no one's watching as well. You see, I know you guys like to post on Instagram and flex and but it's even what you're doing behind closed doors when no one's watching. That's very important, guys. So character is number 1. Number 2 is clarity. Okay, clarity, show it. He says, you have to spend time developing leaders yourself. You need to be personally involved and your team needs to see you doing it so that they understand how it's done and how important it is. Does your team see you developing the leaders within your organization? Does your team actually see you doing it? Right? That's what he says. You have to spend time developing leaders yourself. You need to be personally involved and your team needs to see you doing it. You have to be personally involved. Your team has to see you like, yo, you grab that new leader and you develop that new leader. They have to be able to see it and understand that that's the culture that you are developing. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is communication. And it gets better, guys. Stick with me right here. You got to say it. All right. What does it say? You have to constantly talk about leadership development so it becomes part of the common language in everyday conversation. Okay. This whole month, what did we talk about the whole entire month? Leadership, 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 leadership. Leadership is the key. Okay, he says you have to constantly talk about leadership development so it becomes part of the common language. Everybody needs to be talking about leadership development within your organization. Everybody. It has to be like the most important thing right now. Nobody should be talking about the failures. Nobody should be talking about things that are not working out for them. No one should be talking about COVID or the vaccine or no, everybody should be talking about leadership. How do we develop more leaders? How do we develop more successful leaders? That should be the conversation happening right now within your organization. Okay, that's very important. Number 4 is contribution. Own it. Okay, he says, if you're the leader, the buck stops with you. You need to own your responsibility for developing leaders and other wills too. And when you step up and say, I own this, the entire team gets stronger. Okay, so it's taking full responsibility for the failures and the struggles and the obstacles and the challenges that come with developing leaders. Okay, we had leaders leave the organization about a month or two ago. I didn't blame nobody else. I said, that's lack of leadership on my part. I take full responsibility for everybody who's left the organization. We could have done a better job as an organization to make sure that we could have kept those people. I slipped up. I could have built a relationship with them. I'm not going to blame it on you. I'm not going to blame it on this leader. I'm going to take accountability for it myself. Whatever happens in this organization is a reflection of me. So I have to take full responsibility for whatever happened in this org. Okay, I own it. You gotta own it. That's the hard thing about leadership. That's the hardest thing about leadership is own it. I take full responsibility. It takes a real leader. It takes a real one to sit there and be like, yo, I take full responsibility for this. It's on me. I got it. It's my fault. I have to be better. Sometimes as a leader, you have to be the one that takes the fall. And that's what you guys got to understand. Some of you guys will point the finger. Yo, it was on you. It fell because of you. But at the end of the day, it was your fault. You could have done a better job as a leader. You could have built more relationships. You could have taken care of that person. You could have made sure that that person was launched correctly and that person was, but you didn't. So you got to own the responsibility of the failure now. Okay, that comes with it. Number 5 is consistency. This is a great training for your for your people as well. Okay, do it. Consistency is do it. He says the development of leaders is never one and done. It's something that needs to be cultivating every day. Why? Because the need for more and better leaders never ends. The need for more and better leaders never ends. So this is something that has to be happening Monday through Sunday within your organization. Okay. And remember, guys, I'm talking to people that plan on building a multi-million-dollar business right now. Okay. This is multi-million-dollar. Like we're talking about 8-figure organization right now. I'm not talking about an organization of 10, 20 people. I'm talking about an organization of thousands of people. Some of you might not understand this and comprehend this information right now, but one day you will. Okay. It has to be something that is done every day within your org. That's why you can never slip up as a leader. You can't slip up as a leader ever. Guys, I promise you, look, if there was ever a season where it was hard for me, it has been since June. But you know what? I could never, ever, ever show a sign of weakness as a leader. Never. I don't understand how so many people show signs of weaknesses. I can never show a sign of weakness, no matter how hard it is. No matter how hard it is, I'd rather shed a tear at night by myself than show anybody else that I was showing signs of weaknesses. You know what I'm saying, fam? No matter how hard it got, I would rather shed a tear at night alone in bed by myself than show any signs of weaknesses. And that's real. You feel me, fam? Because I know how hard this is. I know how hard this is. Trust me, I know it is. That New York grit, right? I know how hard this is. I'm here with y'all. That's the thing that people don't understand. People think that, oh, Neno got it all figured out. Bro, I got it far from figured out, bro. I got it far from figured out. Let me be the first to tell you right now, fam. I'm figuring this out with you guys as we go. Am I consistent? Do I stay more consistent? Am I more disciplined with certain things? Am I more knowledgeable in certain areas? Yes. But yo, fam, the same struggles and the same things that you guys go through, I go through. I go through a lot of the same stuff that you guys go through, fam. I promise you guys that. It's just now I get to go through my things here on 50 floors up in Miami on the beach instead of going through it back in my mom's house. We still go through things every day. We growing through these stuff. Okay, but I never stopped though. You understand what I'm saying? The consistency never ever stopped. Never stopped. No matter what happened, I never stopped. You never ever saw me stop on these calls. In the last 5-6 months, you've never seen me take a day where I was like, no, I can't do the call. Never. Because the consistency has to stay. Okay. Number 6. Okay. Celebration. All right. Embrace it. You got to know this stuff. Okay. When the development of leaders is recognized, rewarded, and celebrated continually, it becomes elevated in the organization and woven into the culture. Every leader aspires to become part of it and join it. Embrace it. Celebrate your people. When people accomplish something, celebrate it. That's so important, guys. It's one of the most important things that you can do as a leader. Show up every day. Don't be the individual that, you know, when somebody wins, don't hate on them, bro. Don't be that guy or that girl that hates on people when they win, bro. Be that person that celebrates people. Be happy for people when they win. Because if you hate on somebody because of what they do or what they accomplished, God is not gonna give it to you, because guess what? You're hating on something that you want for yourself. You want to win, but you're hating on somebody who wins. You want to hit that rank, but you hate on somebody when they hit the rank first. You're throwing bad energy at the things that you want. You got to know that. So like, for example, I want to make $50,000 a month, right? My goal is I want to get to $50,000 a month, right? If I see somebody go and make and he's making $50,000 a month, I can't sit there and hate on that person, because that's what I want for myself. I'm gonna celebrate that. Yo, bro, congratulations, my brother. But genuinely though, like, I am so happy for you, bro. I wish you more success. I wish you more blessings. I pray that God continues to bless you, bro. I want more for you, bro. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey and experience this moment with you, fam, for real. Because whatever you celebrate, you accelerate. So I celebrate it all the time. Why not? Why am I going to hate on somebody because they hit a rank, or because they got something first than me, or because they hit a crypto investment first than me, so on and so forth, right? Why? What's the point of that? Okay, there is no point in that, right? If you guys understand where I'm coming from, type a 1 in the chat box really quick. If you guys understand where I'm coming from really quick, right? So we got to understand that, and we got to see it for what it is. All right. Sana, can we kick that guy out, please? Whoever it is. But we got to understand it, and we got to see it for what it is. So number 1, right? We talked about the leader of the team is the primary culture carrier. All right. Now, he went over the 6 C's. Now, number 2, right? This is the second expectation, is everyone is expected to mentor someone. Everyone is expected to mentor someone in your organization. And you got to see that, and you got to understand that. Okay. Once you get individuals in your team that everybody knows, each one teach one. Like, everyone in your business right now, if you're a leader, you should be going and teaching this to your team. It's very important. Okay. Key information. So everyone is expected to mentor someone. All right. Number 3 is leaders focus on developing leaders. Not recruiting followers, okay? We don't want to recruit followers here. We're looking to develop leaders, okay? I don't really like when we have to, you know, go out there and recruit people that are not really about this lifestyle. Okay, a lot of people are really not about the life that they say that they are. Okay, and it's important that you guys understand that it's important that everybody within your organization is developing one another. Okay, if everyone is developing one another, it helps the organization so much. Okay, it helps the organization so much because guess what? Leaders are focusing on developing other leaders, not recruiting followers. So we take that and we understand that, all right? And we teach everyone within our team that that's the key. Because look, sometimes we think that we got to go out there and find new leaders. But in reality, some of us already have good leaders in our teams, but we haven't developed them. For real. Sometimes you think that you need to go out there and find new people on your team, but you probably have the people in your organization right now that are leaders. They just haven't been developed, but they can't be developed unless you develop yourself. That's why it goes all the way back to chapter 1 when we started this book. Okay, is that developing yourself, it should be the number one priority first. The only way that you can be a good leadership developer is if you first become that good leader. Okay, that's number 3. Okay, number 4 is very important. Okay, and this one I know that I've been able to do a lot of, so I'm actually very grateful. He said number 4, leaders focus on developing leaders. Sorry, leaders are actually wrong number. People are continually growing themselves out of a job. People are continually growing themselves out of a job. If people are quitting their jobs because of your business and because of your organization, you're doing something right. You're doing something right. Okay, number 3 was focus on developing leaders, not recruiting followers. So within your organization, if people are continually quitting their jobs and working themselves out of it, that's dope. If you were able to help someone quit their job because of the success that they were able to see in your business, you're doing a great job. And I've been able to help, honestly. Let me see. I think at this point, I've helped hundreds, honestly, at this point. I've helped hundreds of people grow themselves out of a job, not quit their jobs. They grew themselves out of a job. You my ninja too, bro. Right? So you got to know that and you got to understand that. We're helping people grow themselves out of jobs here. You got to grow yourself out of it. It's the only way. You got to become so big that your job can't pay you what you're worth. I need you guys to all understand this, okay? And I say this respectfully, and I say this very humbly. There's no job in the world that could pay any of us on this call what we are really worth, honestly. There's not one job in the world that could pay us what we are really worth. I understand you might have a good job, but at the end of the day, okay, what you are really worth is priceless. Nobody should ever put a price on what you're worth. Nobody. Okay, I get it. Yes, you have to provide for your family. Yes, you love what you do. Yes, 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 yes. But if you were to become the best version of yourself and you were to live up to your full potential, there's not a job in the world that will pay you what you're worth. Not one. You get to create what you're worth. That's the beauty of it. That's why I will never work a job, because there's no job in the world that could pay me what I'm worth. I create how much I'm worth. I determine that. Okay. And you got to have that same mentality when it comes to it as well. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, number 5 is leaders become more than mentors. They become sponsors. And what does that mean? Right? He says here, a mentor helps and guides you by pouring into you. But a sponsor actually opens doors for you so that you can walk through them to be successful. Essentially, a sponsor says, here's the opportunity, and all you have to do is show up. Okay? So leaders become more than just mentors. They become sponsors, guys. And look, guys, there was so much more that I could have shared about this whole thing. And that's why I want to be able to go into YouTube, because, I don't want to have to stop at the end and just, limit the value that, we get to pour on this call. But those right there are the 5 expectations of a leader. Okay. And, I want you guys to really take this extremely serious. Okay. This is incredible information right here that you guys can use. Okay. This book has absolutely changed. All right. My life right here, The Leader's Greatest Return. It's about attracting, developing, and multiplying leaders within your organization. Okay. It's one of the best-selling books right now. And it has helped me so much. Like, if you look at it, the CEO of multiple different companies, chairman of JetBlue Airways, the founder and chairman of Chick-fil-A and Delta, like, they all read this book. Like, the most successful companies in the world, multi-billion-dollar companies, they get their sauce from that book right there. And I promise you guys that that is one of the most important books that you will read in your leadership journey, guaranteed. Okay. The next book I'm going to be reading, I'm not too sure, but I'm probably going to read this one right here. I want to tap into a lot more back of the spiritual side of success. So I'm going to be reading Spiritual Leadership. I want to be able to, really, really help a lot of people on the spiritual side of success. But, I want to put God in the forefront of things, and I want to make sure that more people are, just tapped in more with God. And I think that that's more important than anything in the world. And I know that not everybody believes, but I'm not here looking for the ones that don't believe. I'm only looking for the ones that do believe. And I think that it's important that, we keep God in the front, and that, we let him guide us and show us the way for us to become the best versions of ourselves. And, I've shied away sometimes from certain things just because, I feel like a lot of people won't accept it, or, they'll take it some kind of way. But in reality, I'm no longer going to do that. I'm not going to shy away from the word of God, and whoever is meant to be here is meant to be here. I'm not looking for the ones that are not meant to be here. I'm looking for the ones that are meant to be here. So, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm actually flying to Madrid, Spain tonight. So I won't be doing mornings with Neno tomorrow, but I have one of my leaders who's going to be doing it. And he's actually going to be going over the spirit of a leader tomorrow. Do not miss that call tomorrow. He went over it with me 2 days ago, and he told me, yo, he was explaining it to me, and I'm like, yo, you need to do that call on mornings with Neno when I fly to Madrid. He's going to go over the spirit of a leader. His name is Michael Talks. He was my first 6-figure earner in my business. Okay. It's funny. It's not Mikey, but his name is Michael. Michael Talks. So I got a lot of Michaels in my life, right? But he is going to completely blow it out of the water. Be Ready is going to be one of the most intense trainings that you guys ever heard. All right. But I appreciate all the safe travels. I know the call might cut off here in probably the next 30 seconds or a minute or so, because the next person is going to start off their call. So if I don't get a chance to pray over us, guys, just know that I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for all the incredible, value and energy, and all the beautiful energy that you guys give me every day. I'm just so loved.